not, going to be arrested, but they're trying to question you. And that gives you time to talk to a lawyer. Think about, what are they asking about? You might want to know, like, that's going to happen and figure out how you want to talk to them, because the situation with the cops, it makes you really, really nervous, right? People slip. They say things that maybe, they wouldn't say because it's intense,
Question for you.
Yeah.
Say you've had a little bit of alcohol in your system, right?
Like you?
Yeah, a little bit of alcohol, and I decided to drive tonight, right? I get pulled over by the cops, but nothing crazy, just a drink, and the cop asks you, have you drank?
Have you been drinking tonight?
Yes, that's a very common question, right?
Very, very common question.
Do I have to answer that question?
No, you don't.
No.
You actually don't.
Okay.
If you think that you're over the legal limit, depending on what state you're in, here in California, it's 0.08. Even if you're at 0.08, it still could be a DUI. Even if you're under it, they can still give you a DUI if you're driving in a reckless way. But
What would you do though?
I don't drive.
No, I'm just saying. But what if you were me? Okay, and I know you don't drink.
Yeah.
So if you were me,
what would I say in that situation?
What would you say to protect me? What would you do for him? Like,
I would say
OG3 needs to know this.
Like, I mean,
he actually doesn't even drink.
I truly believe.
I want to know.
I truly believe even if you had only just one drink, which means it's very unlikely you would be over the threshold for a DUI. I still believe it's probably not smart to even admit to that in a sense, because it gives them justification to really make you do some sobriety tests and do all, like, now they have a reason to investigate further. So, my honest opinion is to say, if you're dead sober, I would say, no, I haven't been drinking. You don't want to lie to the cops again. If you lie to the cops and they find out that you had been drinking, that's a different crime altogether. If you feel like you might be borderline or whatnot, my suggestion would be, I don't want to talk about it.
But if I say I'm not going to talk about it, then there's going to be a problem.
Yeah, but it's also going to be, look, I'm not going to say on the air, whether you should say yes or no to that question. Obviously, a yes answer is going to lead the cops to go one way, and a no answer is going to lead the cops to go a different way. And that is how far I will go with that statement.
Well, let's switch it up on that note. We're going to go to the youth. So if we wanted to give some game to the youth, like I'm trying to do in a positive way, which I just put out this book, Never Done With
I love that
on
book.
Amazon for all the kids. So what would you give the youth that's trying to stay focused on their careers and trying to push forward on going with their life? What would you give them as game to the youth of the world?
Yeah, we're talking about when you're dealing with the police, or are you talking about just in general?
Just in general.
Look, a lot of my stuff focuses on the police, so I'll just focus on that for a second. But basically, don't escalate situations. Keep your cool, even when you know you're in the right and the cops are doing something bad, because we all know that it happens. Keep your cool. Make sure you take note of what happens. You can record on your phone. Your friends, if they're around, can record it and deal with it later. It sucks, yes. You might have to go to a holding cell or something for a little bit, but if you handle things appropriately, then you have a better chance of not having bad things happen to you. Because even if you're innocent and you fight back, well, they can charge you with fighting back with the cops. So you want to be smart on those levels and know, even if you're a juvenile, right? Say it. When you say I want a lawyer, it protects your rights to them asking more questions. But saying you want your parents is not the same thing. So you could say, oh, I want my parents, and they'll be like, fine, and then they'll ask you a bunch of questions. So, the law is a tricky thing, and it's hard to navigate. But in general, stay out of trouble to begin with, right? But sometimes trouble finds you, and you have to know how to handle that. And when trouble finds you, you want to handle it in a calm manner, no matter how right you think you are. Just don't create more problems for yourself. And the easiest way to do that is to say nothing and deal with it later.
So the moral of the story is, don't let trouble find you.
Absolutely.
Keep doing positive things.
Absolutely. Do positive things like this guy.
Yeah.
Have you been arrested before?
I have not. I wouldn't be. It's very hard to be a lawyer if you've been arrested before.
Yeah.
Have you been pulled over before?
Yeah. I didn't have a front license plate.
And
It was
what
by a
was
bicycle cop. It sucked.
Bicycle.
He kickstand in front of my car. And he had a huge attitude too.
What if you pretended to be mute?
If I pretend to be what?
To be mute.
Mute? Interesting question. Again, I guess it would fall under lying to the police in a sense. Yeah. What would you do if you're mute to invoke the fifth? I don't know, but if you're truly mute, I don't think they can hold that against you. You were silent, so.
Yeah.
What if you told them you're high off life?
I would not mention the word high in any respect near a police officer.
Well, this is a good live, and we'll tune in to another one on Never Done Again.
Yeah. Let's do it. Thanks everyone for tuning in.